What's up guys, I'm Kai the Comic Guy, and today we're going to be starting our two-part series. I'm going to be breaking down every single major DC superhero team, their origins, their key members, and most importantly, who is the single most powerful member of each team. Part 1 will cover the iconic teams, but before we start, I need to put this out there. Raw physical strength is the single most overrated metric in DC Comics. Most of these teams have a telepath, and one could argue that telepathy can override brute strength at times. Another thing to consider are reality warpers. Because remember guys, reality warpers eat the strong man alive. Telepathy overrides muscle. Magic overrides physics. And reality warping, well, that overrides everything. And if you disagree, all good. That's what the comment section is for. But I got receipts. We're gonna go team by team. It's time for a deep dive. Team number 1, Justice League. The Justice League, well, is the super team, the golden standard. First appearing in Brave and Bold number 28 in 1960, the League was DC's answer to a question: what happens when you put the most powerful heroes on the same roster from Earth? The founding concept was pretty simple, guys. Alien invasions, cosmic conquerors, and world-ending threats that no single hero could actually deal with alone, which is why the League was formed. Over the last 6 decades, Justice League has been the benchmark against which every other DC team has been measured. The core roster, well, is pretty much the Hall of Famers. Let's start with Superman. Powered by the yellow solar radiation, Superman has towered galaxies, moved the sun, broken the source wall, and lifted a book with little infinite pages. His strength scales pretty much to meet whatever the cosmic threat he faces. He is the baseline for power in the DC universe. But he's not alone. Martian the Manhunter matches Superman's physical strength while adding shape-shifting intangibilities. Though the Martian is one of the top telepaths on the planet, he can mind-wipe entire populations with a thought. Next up, Captain Atom. He's plugged directly into the quantum field, giving him several powers such as matter transmutation. He also has infinite energy absorption, and enough raw destruction output to pretty much eviscerate any galaxy. Firestorm is a walking nuclear fission reactor. He can absorb and control all matter. And coming up next, none other than a Green Lantern. So before you Lantern fans already start loading up your ring constructs in the comments, I got you. Hal Jordan's willpower, well, is basically his field arsenal. And if you consider his actual parallax arc, that puts him at an absurd tier. But Hal Jordan's ceiling is still bound by 2 things: concentration and willpower, which can be disrupted. So keep that in mind as we talk about who's the most powerful person on this team. Okay, we're gonna approach our first most powerful member. Now it's gonna be none other than Wally West. Okay guys, bear with me. The definitive apex of the Justice League is Wally West, the Flash. And I know this is something that's gonna upset a lot of Superman fans, but let's talk about it in the comments. The evidence is overwhelming though. The Speed Force is a structural anomaly in DC cosmology. It is an extra-dimensional kinetic energy field that fundamentally breaks every law of physics, and Wally West's connection to it is the deepest of any speedster that's ever lived. Not Barry Allen. Barry laid the foundation, but Wally exceeded it. And that's not disrespect to Barry, that's just a canonical record. Let me run you through a feat list really quick. Wally can outpace the speed of light. He can phase through molecules through solid objects and cause them to explode and destabilize. He can slow, stop, or fully reverse time. He can vibrate into entirely new dimensions and universes. He literally outpaced the conceptual embodiment of death itself to the edge of the universe. Not a villain named Death, the actual concept of dying. He was faster than death. And this peak alone is one of the most notable. When Wally West was temporarily augmented by the Mobius chair and the residual reality warping energies of Dr. Manhattan, he gained near omnipotence. He possessed all the knowledge in the multiverse while processing it at speeds beyond any human comprehension. Now, I know what you're thinking, that's a temporary power-up. And yeah, guys, you're kind of right. It's not actually his base power. It's not his base form. Not even his base level. But even at base level Wally West, he can end fights before a single synapse even fires from his opponent's brains. Superman's infinite strength kind of becomes completely irrelevant when a fight is already over, before the alien can even blink. Now guys, for the Wonder Woman fans, yes, Diana is an elite combatant, divine heritage from Zeus, magical weaponry, and has the combat skills to go with it that can rival anyone on this list. But she doesn't have the Speed Force. She doesn't have matter transmutation. and she's been beaten by people on this roster. Respect to Diana, but she's not the apex here, guys. And if you disagree, let's talk about it in the comments. Team 2, Justice Society of America. The Justice Society of America first appeared in All-Star Comics number 3 in 1940, making them the very first superhero team in comic book history. Born in the Golden Age, and the JSA was DC's original coalition, a collection of mystery men and costume heroes who banded together during World War II. The team is the foundation upon which every superhero team-up concept was built. Without the JSA, there is no Justice League, there's no Avengers, and there's no X-Men. This is where it all started. And with another legendary roster, let's talk about the members. Alan Scott, the Golden Age Green Lantern. He wields a Starheart-derived power ring whose magic can warp reality at its peak. And unlike the Corp rings, he has no weakness to yellow. Dr. Fate wears a helmet of Naboo, the amulet of Anubis, and a cloak of destiny. A trio of artifacts that grants him mastery over several things: magic, time travel, telepathy, and also so happens that these artifacts contain the entire universe within them. Jay Garrick, the original Flash, channels the Speed Force with the Golden Age resilience. Hawkman is known for his warrior fury, and also his ninth metal weaponry. And Wildcat is proof that a guy who just really knows how to box can pretty much hang with the gods if he's tough enough. Now, we're gonna get to the most powerful, the Spectre. Spectre is the strongest member of the JSA, and I'm not sure how really close it is. The Spectre is the literal embodiment of the wrath of God. He's bound to the soul of a deceased human host, most famously, the murdered detective, Jim Corrigan. And the Spectre is powered directly by the Presence. The Presence is the supreme creator entity of the entire DC multiverse. We are talking about the power source that is the actual God. His capabilities are pretty peaked: limitless super strength, total intangibility, size alteration, illusion casting, devastating magical execution, and he's physically held apart merging dimensions during multiversal crises, just brute forcing the structure of reality and making it stay intact through sheer divine power. In direct combat, he usually defeats Dr. Fate, and I say usually because, Fate fans, I see you. There are specific instances where Fate has held his own, or the Spectre was operating under restrictions. But the standard outcome, the Spectre is going to win, guys. When he faced Superman, the Kryptonian was subdued and folded almost immediately. The Spectre can turn you into a pillar of salt. He can also erase you from existence entirely. He can rewrite the fundamental laws of the universe. His only limitations are the rules that the Presence itself imposes on him. And that's not a superhero, that's a divine enforcement mechanism wearing a green and black cloak. And here's the teaser, and that's not going to matter a lot in the part 2. The Spectre might be one of the single strongest entities of any team we cover in this entire series. Remember I said that, because when we get to the Secret Six, something happens to the Spectre's power that should be physically impossible. Team 3, Justice League Dark. When the threats come from astral planes, chaos dimensions, and ancient mythology, the regular Justice League kinda taps out. So the Justice League Dark was formed, specifically to handle supernatural and magical crises, along with dealing with demonic incursions and cosmic horrors that conventional superheroes just couldn't quite punch their way through. The team was first formalized in the New 52 era. This is DC's occult special forces unit. John Constantine is the team's tactical mastermind, a chain-smoking occultist from Liverpool who routinely outwits demons and gods and cosmic entities through sheer cunning and dark magic. He's not exactly the most powerful member when we consider raw output, but he's arguably the most dangerous because he fights smarter and not harder. And Constantine fans are going to argue that cunning and prep time should trump raw power. It's one of the same arguments we'll hear typical Batman fans make, except Constantine does it with demon blood and cigarettes, and he doesn't use a utility belt. It's a fair argument, but this list is about power ceiling and not tactical intelligence. We can't forget Zatanna. She brings her backward speaking reality warping capabilities, and this is among the most potent magical abilities in DC. Next up is Deadman. He possesses the living and fights from beyond the grave, Etrigan. The demon is a hellfire breathing rhyming demon bound to a human host. And then there are 2 heavyweights. We'll start off with Swamp Thing. He is the avatar of the green, the elemental force connecting all plant life on Earth. He's functionally immortal because his consciousness lives in the green itself. He can destroy his body and grow a new one from any plant, anywhere in the universe. He's regenerated from other planets During the Dark Crisis on the Infinite Earths, he was the key to defeating the Great Darkness, proving he scales two multiversal threats. He can summon forests to crush cities and manipulate the biology of anyone who's ever eaten a plant. Now we get to the most powerful, the Phantom Stranger. And it's going to be a controversial pick. I would argue that the Swamp Thing has cultural visibility. The Alan Moore run, the TV series, the James Gunn DCU buzz, the works. The Phantom Stranger is comparatively pretty obscure, right? Obscurity doesn't necessarily mean weakness. The Phantom Stranger is one of the most mysterious beings in all of DCU. His origins are deliberately unclear, often implied to be of some biblical nature. He's wandered Earth for thousands of years, offering guidance and wielding magic that rivals pretty much anyone. And here's a key detail. He is among the council of the highest ranking cosmic magical beings in the entire universe. Here's the simplest way I can put it. Swamp Thing is the god of plants. The Phantom Stranger sits on a council where the actual gods created those plants, the universe itself, and the rules of magic itself. And that's the gap. One controls an element, the other operates alongside the architects of reality itself. And when you consider his reality altering capabilities, it makes sense. And if you don't agree, head to the comments. I'm waiting for you. If you haven't already, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe so we can continue to make content for you. We appreciate the support. Thank you. Next up is one of my favorite teams in the DC universe, Teen Titans. Teen Titans started exactly what the name suggests, the teenage sidekicks of the Justice League stepping out on their own. First appearing in the Brave and Bold 54 in 1964, the original lineup was Robin, Kid Flash, and Aqualad. But over the decades, the Teen Titans evolved from a sidekick squad into one of DC's most formidable strike units. The new Teen Titans era under Marv Wolfman and George Perez in the 1980s transformed the team into a cultural phenomenon that rivaled the Justice League in popularity and arguably exceeded them in emotional storytelling. Let's talk about some of the key members. Cyborg, before his promotion to the Justice League, was the team's technological powerhouse. Victor Stone gained the superhuman strength, durability, and technopathy over every connected computer on the planet. On top of being connected to every machine, Cyborg has energy cannon arms and boon tube teleportation across the multiverse. He can ship his limbs into whatever weapon the situation demands. Beast Boy. Beast Boy brings extreme versatility through shape-shifting to any animal, and recent continuity showed his true ceiling when he transformed into the Garo, a variation of the cosmic entity Starro, and released the Beast Plague that crippled the entire hero community. Starfire channels ultraviolet radiation to devastating energy blasts and possesses Temeranian strength that rivals Kryptonians. And yes, I know, Starfire is a beast. We'll get into that. Donna Troy has been one of the most powerful titans across decades of continuity, wielding Amazonian strength, divine magic, a reality warping history that spans across multiple crisis events. And Nightwing is proof that peak human strength, tactical genius, and sheer determination can earn you leadership of a team of metahumans. The most powerful one of all is none other than Titan Raven. And my Starfire fans, let me discuss the Dark Queen for a second. Raven is a half-human daughter of Trigon, an interdimensional demon conqueror whose goal is subjugation of all reality. That bloodline is just a footnote. It's the source of her apocalyptic power. Raven's abilities are drawn from dark, demonic magic. She projects an astral form called her soul self, which she uses for teleportation, energy absorption, and combat. She wields advanced telekinesis, empathy, and emotional manipulation. She can flood enemies with despair and darkness, breaking their will before the fight even begins. But the real escalation comes with Raven fully embraces her demonic heritage. At that level, she operates on a cosmic scale, matching reality warper threats and subduing actual deities. Back to Starfire. In a raw firepower contest, Starfire is terrifying. She's traded blows with Kryptonian level threats, but Raven can manipulate Starfire's emotions, shut down her actual will to fight, and banish her soul to another dimension before a single starbolt is fired. And Donna Troy's divine power is legitimate, but Raven's demonic magic operates on the same mythological tier while adding psychic dominance. Diana's protege, simply doesn't have those same capabilities. Diana has the power, but without psychic defense, she's just a bigger target. In teams of tech heroes, shapeshifters, energy blasters, Raven's magical output and reality bending potential exists in a completely different weight class, and we have to acknowledge that. Next team, Young Justice. If the Teen Titans are the public-facing youth team, the Young Justice would be the covert operating squad. Originally formed in the late 1990s by Peter David and massively popularized by the acclaimed animated series, the Young Justice operate as a stealth team, running Black Ops missions, deep cover infiltration, and first response operations that the Justice League can't officially sanction. The team consists of youngsters who directly mirror the Justice League archetypes, often matching or exceeding their mentors in raw potential. Let's talk about some of the members. First up, Superboy, Connor Kent. Well, he's half human, half Kryptonian, and a clone of Superman and Lex Luthor. He serves as the team's primary physical deterrent. His raw superhuman strength, speed, and durability are exceptional. When he uses specialized shields, he gains his full Kryptonian abilities: flight, heat vision, the works, and he can level mountains with a single strike. Blue Beetle wields an alien technology engineered by the Reach, a hostile alien empire. The technology functions as an adaptive armor that analyzes any opponent's physiology and instantly produces specific weaponized countermeasures, such as energy blasts, sonic cannons, and even kryptonite radiation. It's a walking, learning weapon platform. Bart Allen is a Speed Force conduit who theoretically can end fights before the opponent can form a conscious thought. Artemis brings the team lethal archery skills, tactical intelligence, and deep cover espionage capability. Now it's time for the most powerful member. The most powerful member of the Young Justice is Miss Martian. Miss Martian is a white Martian. We'll get into that terminology in a second, guys, don't worry. It's a detail she initially hid from her teammates due to the anti-white Martian prejudice on Mars. Her power set includes immense telepathy, telekinesis, shapeshifting, and density shifting for full intangibility. You know, the standard Martian package. But what separates Miss Martian from other telepaths is how she uses her telepathic abilities. She can instantly incapacitate opponents, mind wipe them, and induce a catatonic state, or can flat out lobotomize someone with a single thought. So with that being said, Miss Martian canonically lobotomizes people, and that is the character. Even in the animated series, her own teammates were horrified by what she was doing. That's not a weakness, that's a willingness to use her power at maximum output that most telepaths refuse to employ. And here's the fact that should end most arguments when it comes to Miss Martian being a top member of this team. Martian the Manhunter, her own uncle, the most powerful telepath arguably in the Justice League, has admitted that Miss Martian's raw telepathic potential vastly exceeds his own. The most powerful telepath on their premier super team says that this teenager is stronger than him. If that doesn't settle the debate, I don't know what does. Wally West wins the temporal manipulation. Spectre wins through divine authority. This Phantom Stranger wins through cosmic omniscience. Raven wins through demonic magic. And Miss Martian wins through telepathic shutdown. And we'll see if this trend intensifies in part 2. Part 2 covers other wild cards, and I cannot wait to get to it. So let's try and make sure, guys, this video at least gets to 4,000 views. I'd love to do this again and finish out the series. And I promise you some of the answers are going to absolutely melt your brain. It's going to be great. So guys, links in the description. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe button, and drop your hottest disagreement in the comments. I'm reading every single one, and I'm going to reply to every single one. Which team did I get wrong? And I know Superman fans are furious, but Superman is one of my favorite DC heroes, guys. I want to make that plain and clear. Bring receipts, like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in part 2. Keep your feet on the ground and your eyes on the stars. Excelsior, my fellow nerds. Kai out.